I lost myself on a cool, damp night. Gave myself in that misty light. Was hypnotized by a strange delight. Under the lilac tree. Can there be a more mysterious opening to what is, I think, quite a mysterious song, both in terms of its conception, its composition, but also the history around this song, the kind of, I was going to say legend, but the lack of legend of this song, considering the popularity of it, made arguably most famous by Elkie Brooks. She had the biggest hit with it. But if, like me, you maybe heard it for the first time on Jeff Buckley's masterpiece, Grace, and his version is very much actually an homage to Nina Simone's brilliant version. Her rendition, I think, is really seen as the kind of pivotal moment in this song. But let me just take you back to the original conception of the song, because it was, and I think when you learn this, it sort of makes more sense, because it was actually written for the theatre. So it was written by a guy called James Shelton, who you probably haven't heard of unless you love this song and you've looked into it. Now, he was an actor and a composer and a lyricist, and he wrote some music for a show, for a review show by a bloke that you probably have heard of, Bob Fosse, Mr. Bob Fosse. Now, his before he had his big worldwide hits of Cabaret and all that jazz, his first show was called, this review show on Broadway was called Dance Me a Song. And this song, Lilac Wine, featured in it. Lilac Wine. Very strange, mysterious song. But once you understand it was written for the theatre and written to be performed by dancers, it kind of makes more sense because it's so atmospheric, it's so weird and wonderful. Now, this song in the show was performed by a woman called Hope Foy. Hope Foy. I hope I've got that right. Hope I've got Hope's name right. She's a really interesting character. So there's lots of people attached to this song. Now, she was right at the forefront of the civil rights music and one of those pivotal people who used their art and their talent, in her case, talent as a vocalist, to try and transcend the bigotry and the prejudice of her times. So it's then perhaps no wonder, and Nina Simone, I'm sure, must have known about her and about her work, because Nina Simone herself was hugely important in the civil rights movement as well, for those same reasons of using her art to transcend. And so her version that came out, you can hear it steeped. It's somehow about that song seems to be steeped in the history of that as well. The fact that this woman, Hope Foy, sang it for the very first time. Now, okay, let's look at the chord progression in this song and what makes it so interesting. Now, to open the song, it's quite theatrical, isn't it? To open that way, it goes back to that very kind of theatrical way of starting a song with an introduction like this. I lost myself on a cool, damp night. Lost myself in that misty light. Now, the really cool thing is this chord here, because this is a minor 7, G sharp minor 7, but then we flatten the 5th note there. Now, what Nina Simone does so brilliantly is she scrunches that chord up, and then she puts the flattened 5th, in this case a D natural, in the bass, which falls so brilliantly to the C sharp, and then back to the F sharp minor. Effectively it's a 2, minor 2, 5, 7, 1, really common chord progression, well, the most common chord progression, but with that flattened 5th, and then put the flattened 5th in the bass, it's a great progression. After this, we have, the bridges of all bridges, and it's weird to have a bridge so early in a song, but we have these diminished chords. I think more than I want to think, do things I never should do. I drink much more than I want to drink, because it brings me back you. This great use of a suspended note there to fall to the C sharp. 7. So brilliant use of diminished chords here. Those notes, of course, in an F sharp 7. So it's just a 5-7-1 almost, but because it's a C sharp diminished, great little chord progression there. Now we have this suspended 4th, but then it goes to an F major. Remember, we started in F sharp minor. Incidentally, Jeff Buckley's in G minor, just so you know, he's a whole semitone up, but I'm doing Nina Simone's version. F sharp major. Now, Nina Simone's genius is to do these big, weighty, rounded chords, which on the piano is so deep and so resonant, and kind of give this, you know, this kind of dark purple color, which is laced through the song. She does this. Lilac wine is sweet and heady, like my love. So there's something about that. Oh, you can really dig in the piano using all those big, and it's all the black notes as well, which feel great to play on the piano. A descending bass line that she puts in down to, so if we think of these as slash chords, so it's a B over a D sharp, the major third of the chord. This makes me think of the fact that, you know, I know Elton John's on record is absolutely loving Nina Simone, and I think you can hear her use of bass notes in a song like this being something that he would have picked up in his own songwriting. So weirdly, the chord, we've got a structure. There's an intro, a weird kind of bridge, and then a chorus that's now in the major key. But it's a very strange chorus because it's just sort of long and hangs there. It's not a catchy chorus, if you like. It's very theatrical. I mean, this is what I'm saying. It's birthed in the theatre very much. And then we have moments like, listen to me, I cannot see clearly. Isn't that she coming to me nearly here? It's such a weird song, and I do think it kind of stands outside of time and almost genre, really. It feels theatrical, it feels like musical theatre, but it also feels like jazz. Maybe that's the Nina Simone influence, but it also feels like gospel somehow, and just all this strange mixture of material. Sadly, we don't, as far as I can tell, we don't seem to have a recording of Hope Foy performing this song. So I think the closest we've got perhaps is Eartha Kitt, because her version was the first one, I think, recorded after. That was about 1953, and the Broadway show was 1950. So I think perhaps the arrangement of that is likely to be the closest to what was done in the show. But there we go. What a weird, wonderful song. What's your favourite version of the song? Before I leave you, I wanted to show you, I love this song so much. I arranged it for my community choir a few years ago, and one of the members was so inspired that she made this fantastic collage, and she gave it to me at the end of the process, which I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but there we go. I just think it's so cool, and so thank you, Sarah, for making this for me. It sits on my shelf, and I really, really love it. Look at the beautiful lilac colours. What a weird, beautiful song this is. I will never get tired of listening to it, and particularly Nina Simone's version, which is now absolutely my favourite. Cheers, thanks so much for watching, and see you at the next video.